Right, I'm back, everyone. This is a video of me talking about the projects that nearly destroyed this YouTube channel. Starting off, number one, my JonTron animation. As frequent viewers on this channel know, I want to do wacky, weird animations, all in 3D and Pixar level 3D, my type of style. There's no one else doing it on the internet right now. I'm going to be the first guy. The first animation I tried to animate JonTron. This is how far I got. Literally, I got to the point where I had a head of a character floating in an environment. At the time, I didn't know anything. I was so rubbish. This was years ago. I was a lot younger. I was a lot more naive. We don't even need to talk about it. On to the next one. Oh my god, the boys animation. This was brutal. Back in 2021, I made an animation of Tyler 1 screaming, which a lot of people have seen. It's got 3 million views. And a YouTube channel known as The Boys. There's a guy called Mully, Eddie, some guy called The Narrator. There's another one, and I think there's another one. There's 6 of them. Oh yeah, there's a guy called Juicy as well, I remember him. They DM'd me on Instagram and said, odds on you can make us an animation in 4 weeks or less? Now, looking back, this was absolutely stupid. There's no chance I would have been able to make an animation in 4 weeks or less. But young, naive, and brave Greg, on the high of having a video hit 3 million views, says, odds are high, but depends on what you're talking. Ooh, I was thinking a skit from one of our videos, in brackets, timestamp. Sends a link to the video. Pretty much be them at a table when they eat the hot sauce and basically the aftermath that follows. Love that you use Maya. And then we started talking about the software. I said, I always say this to people who I do freelance for. I live in that software, know it more than my family. If you're a freelancer, you can steal that line. And then he put LMAO. And then I give him the spiel about I'm a uni teacher, blah, blah, blah. We started talking about reference only stuff. Now, this was an ongoing process for ages. But, long story short, this YouTube channel, The Boys, they wanted I think it was around a 2-minute segment of one of their podcasts where they're eating really hot, spicy wings to be animated. They kind of wanted anything. It was just beginning of 2022. They must not have had that much content. And then they were like, yo, can you do an animation for us? They were going to pay me. They were going to pay me $2,000. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm broke as shit. I'll take that money. I'll take that money, fam. They didn't want a crazy idea. They just wanted a 3D reenactment of them eating hot wings. And looking back, I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. Not realizing it consists of 6 sculpted characters at a minimum in an environment, 2 minutes of just straight high quality animation with all facial animation and speaking. That was an incredible amount of work. I will say this though, I intend on finishing this animation. The first thing I fucked up on was the idea. Like the XQC animation I did, I want to take the initial idea, not just replicate it. The initial clip of said YouTuber or said whoever, I don't just want to take it and then reanimate it as it is. I want to add my own Greg Foster flair to it. I took their audio, because the audio is just them lot freaking out on hot wings. I took their audio and remade it, redesigned it, like scripted it and storyboarded it in a way that it's the same audio, but it was played upon them lot dropping a bomb over a town. The audio makes it sound like they're having second thoughts because how bad it is. Because the hot sauce they were eating on wings is known as the bomb, that bomb. And I reanimated their audio to where they're dropping a bomb onto a city, and them freaking out on the hot sauce made it seem like they were having second guess, like, oh my god, I can't believe we've done this, like, you know, type thing. Like, they were like having second thoughts, like they're getting emotional about it. And I storyboarded it, worked in it, modeled the whole environment. I spent like £200 on 3D assets that more or less never got used. Modeled the whole inside of an aircraft carrier, because the whole scene is set in an aircraft carrier. Put a bunch of Easter eggs and things in. Modeled like the cockpit interior of a plane. When I look back, the character design on some of the characters is awful, and I can do way better now. The best ones are Mully and Eddie. They were the most developed. The main thing that prevented me from finishing this animation was rigging. And if anyone just watched my previous video about how I rigged a walking penis, I'm actually really good at rigging now. So now it'd be completely different. But this was when I was not good It took me ages to rig characters and it was super confusing. Now it'd be completely different, but it was a serious learning experience. I will say that. And I do intend on finishing it. Moral of the story, don't ruin opportunities. Simple as that. And also the way I do my characters and rigs, there's nothing on the internet. I don't care if I sound like a dick saying this. There's no one on the internet that is going to do 3D animations like I do. Mine are going to be like next level. They're going to be next level. On to the next video. The Mr. Beast Grand Canyon video, right? So this was even earlier than The Boys. This is when I was just starting out. This was before Moist Critical did 2 videos on making. Remember when that happened? So one of my channels I want to go down in my YouTube channel is doing like 10-minute story time animations that are all in 3D. One of the initial ideas that I had was I was going to do a video. It would have been in the style of Mr. Beast, but it's fully 3D animated. And it would have been, how many Mr. Beasts would it take to fill the Grand Canyon up? And I just had this shot in my mind. I had this shot in my mind of millions of Mr. Beasts all running and falling into Grand Canyon. And you just hearing like, what's up guys, welcome back to my channel, or whatever he says. You know, like, and just millions of them go like that. So if you scroll down my Instagram and look at some of my old videos, you'll see a CGI shot that I made of loads of people running off the side of a canyon and falling inside of a canyon. That's the most amount of work we got out with this. I also sculpted Mr. Beast in a really shitty way. It was never finished, and when I look back on it now, it looks awful and I could do so much better. But it was, I did try. We tried very hard. It was a very difficult thing, but I learned a lot. I learned how to get satellite information of the Grand Canyon and make it into a 3D model. I learned a lot about crowd simulations and simulating millions of people and crowds and stuff. This actually helps me do my simulating a million walking dicks video. It was the same software, even though I was still kind of shit back then. But yeah, the Mr. Beast Grand Canyon video, good idea at the time. It would have worked. It would have been, you know, a full 3D animation in Mr. Beast type of video style. Like, you know, like, oh my God, like, you know. The last and final video, oh my God. This was the bane of my existence. Any frequent viewers will remember a video I did that was titled, The YouTube Algorithm When You Don't Upload for 6 months, or something like that. It was an old video I did on my channel a couple of years ago when it was me talking to the YouTube algorithm. I was begging the YouTube algorithm for forgiveness because I hadn't uploaded in 6 months. And it was there going like, feed me content, Greg, like that. And it was this big like squid monster. I was going to do a follow-up of that saying the YouTube algorithm when you don't upload for a year. And this, I storyboarded it, I scripted it, I filmed it. The filming was insane. It took me like a full day, full production and everything. My camera on a tripod, on a table and everything. I used to use like a stick to control it and all that stuff. All the lights had to be perfect so I could replicate the lights inside of you know, inside of 3D, inside of Autodesk Maya. It was a proper job. Don't get me wrong, it was a proper job, but it was a full 5-minute sketch of me talking to this big squid monster that is the YouTube algorithm, which is I want it to be a returning character in my videos. It was insane, the amount of work. So I did get a couple of shots done. The video starts off with me being held by the YouTube algorithm monster and about to be eaten. I go, hey, please don't eat me. I'll get some content out, please. And then it looks down and it goes, you've said that before, Greg. And then I start having this like discussion with it. It throws me against the ground. I get up and then I start chatting to it and being like, hey, it was a 5-minute person to creature dialogue with like sketches and jokes and stuff in it. And then the whole thing would end with me being picked up and thrown into the sky. And now I go, bing. It goes like, I'll give you one more chance. Don't ruin this or something like that. It picks me up and it throws me into the distance. And then I go, bing, I sparkle, you know, like in Pokemon. Bloop, you know, like Team Rocket in Pokemon or whatever. I still plan on making it because it is really good. But the thing is, when you look at this shot, if you all look at this shot now, this was just a test shot I did of it like holding me with its arms moving. So if we break down what needed to be made here, so not only did it need to be modeled and all that stuff, which is relatively easy, it's just a bunch of tentacles and all that stuff. And them tentacles are not hand animated. They are all procedurally moving. The mouth, all this is not hand animated. It was fully procedural based on like sine waves and things to make it move, because if I were to animate this, one, it would have looked a lot worse. and 2, it would have taken significantly more time. The rigging side, making these characters move like this was insane, and because it was a tentacle, they had to coil and things really nicely and stuff. Because the prequel I did, the first video of this, the one that was the YouTube algorithm when you don't upload for 6 months, that one, it had some of the same technology inside the rig, but you can see it's a lot more rigid, it's a lot more stiff. I wanted this to be like Davy Jones's beard. I wanted it to be like flowing, colliding with each other, and like very expressive, because it was going to go, ho, 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 look over there, look over there, look over there, hey, look at this, hey. And like, you know, it was, I wanted to have this thing to like be alive, and I wanted to like communicate with it. And as well, it needed to like pick me up, grab me, throw me, and all that stuff. So that meant I had to make a digi-double of myself, which is a whole nother job, because I did a digital double of myself, recreated the clothes, rigged myself. Now, I was only in the distance, so you wouldn't really see the digital double of me. There were shots of me in front of a green screen like this, where I was being held. You know, I was like, hey, come on, like this. But it was just, the amount of work was insane. I was aiming way higher than the skill set I had. Now, though, there is a benefit to that, and this is the moral of this video. Always try and do things, even if you fail at them, don't even think about failing. I did not think I was going to fail any of these projects. I thought the boys animation, which was like making a Pixar short, it's like one man making a whole Pixar short. When I did the boys animation, when I did this, the YouTube algorithm video, I just call it the YAG video. I was fully intending on making these videos. I was so deluded. I was like, I will get this done now. Like, it'll take me a week. I'll have this done in a week. Hey, I just want sleep. I'll do it. Hey, easy. Come on. At the time, I didn't even fucking know how to use Nuke compositing. Now I'm amazing. Now I could do it like way better. Don't be afraid to try things that are way out of your league, out of your skill set, because you will always learn something from them. And that has been the key thing. And that's why I'm very confident I could get some good content out on this channel, which I think people are starting to resonate with, especially on the animation side, the CGI side. And some of these videos are going to get finished. I will tend on finishing them. I'm just trying to think of anything else that I could have said about the YouTube algorithm video. It was so insane. It was fully animated. All the tentacles moved procedurally, which is so crazy. But the mouth was insane, because this mouth, I wanted, you know the shot when Jack Sparrow was being eaten? It was a replication of that, and that was the opening shot. So I wanted to have like a big hook, you know? So the opening shot was like, ah, like this, and it was all like, raw, and all that moved procedurally on its own. It was an insane amount of character rigging. But again, the thing is, it all comes down to biting off more than you can chew. But there's nothing really wrong with that, because you get fat in the process. Does that make sense? Is that even a good analogy? Is that a good way to end this video? These were my failed video ideas. Even though I never finished them, in my eyes, they're not really a failure, because some of this stuff I've used on tech reels. Some of this stuff has helped me get freelance jobs. Regardless, I hope you've all had a good time. Hope you like this video. Please subscribe and follow me on Instagram. If you get to this point, follow me on Instagram, because I want to just imagine blowing my Instagram up. It'll be awesome. Anyway, as always, better videos coming soon.